www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
My enemies' walls are bound to crumble, and to the floor their spears will fall. I've been made and sealed with love, but time to battle, I'll find them all. I felt the whips and remember chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name.
I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise to my ancestors see that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer. Yes I will conquer, conquer them. Come on let's conquer, oh I will conquer. Rise up and conquer, conquer them.
Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David told Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up.
So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer. Yes I will conquer, conquer them. Come on let's conquer, oh I will conquer. Rise up and conquer, conquer them.
Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You're everything, Father. Thank you.
Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to fail. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of lies. Send down your warriors with the hello. They carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this storm is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we is my soul?
No weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer. Yes I will conquer, conquer them. Come on let's conquer, oh I will conquer. Rise up and conquer, conquer them. I am a man.
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 92.9 Sister Al Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 WeiVybz Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the live videos, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you may be joining us in the comfort of your home, or if you're sitting at work today like me, we welcome you. Of course, as per usual, we're here to share with you as much information as possible. And I must say, because it was my plan to come and appeal this morning, but They say great minds think alike. I must say kudos to Aruna. Aruna, thank you, thank you, thank you. You did what I had difficulty doing, and that was getting a representative from the NIS to speak on the procedures that they have in place for unemployment benefits and also some of the other benefits that they would have available for individuals at this time. So thank you, Aruna, because it was my plan to come here this morning and to speak on that. Now, this morning, we're going to go straight into it very early. We have a representative from Island Health Services that's on the line with us. And they're calling to add some clarity to an issue that's been buzzing around for so long. But not only that, we are going today appeal to some of our listeners, to our viewers, to anybody that you know that can help to try and assist some of our patients who are in need of financial assistance to get their dialysis treatment. So we have a representative on the line. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Miss Duncan.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I know I've been on the phone with you guys for the past 2 days trying to get some clarity, trying to find out what's going on to see how we can help in getting this issue resolved. Now, we're going to begin with the letter because that is what seems to be taking some traction on social media, and it's being interpreted, of course, in many different ways. So can you add some clarity to the letter and the intention of the letter?
Sure. Okay. Daniel, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, good morning, Ms. Duncan. This is Daniel Richardson. I'll also be pinching in just a little bit. I am, just for record, I am the Assistant Facility Administrator of Island Health Service, Dialysis Clinic. So just in reference to the letter itself and getting an idea of the nature of the letter and why it was sent out, first to just put out as a disclaimer that this letter was sent out only in sense of a internal issue that has been an ongoing problem since the inception of the clinic itself, and it has in no way whatsoever to do with any issues with outside parties that may be assisting the patients themselves, i.e. the government or the Kidney Foundation themselves. Given the situation that we are under, financially already, whole COVID-19 has also, well, I would say, add fuel to the fire, causing the situation to get far more worse than what it originally was. And I guess as the information would have been released, that one, the Kidney Foundation is noting that they have difficulties in making their contributions, and also because as of the date in which the letter was sent, we were not able to receive the contribution from the Ministry of Health. Given all those circumstances, it was prudent enough to inform the patients that, listen, coming in the upcoming days and the months and so on, that the patients will be responsible for now, not just it was a co-payment that they were expecting to get government and Kidney Foundation to reduce the cost slightly and then they pay the remainder of it, that the co-payment has now become basically full payment due to the fact that we do not have surety on finances coming in for assistance. And then on top of that, the finances that does come in, which also was stated publicly, is only just about 20% of the overall cost for treatment for patients. So it was prudent enough to at least let the patients know the situation that we are under. We gave them the information that was forwarded to us in regards to the Kidney Foundation, and also that we have not received the payments as yet. It hasn't. It was not. There was no intention in saying that the government is not assisting. Right. So that was one of the main reasons why the letter was put out for the patient, helping him to understand the situation. Right. Apart from that, which persons as well do not realize, is that the COVID-19 issue, because the U.S. is our supplier for medical supplies for the dialysis center, because they themselves value these supplies at this point, because communication, shipment, and brokerage, all those things have been put almost on halt. The U.S. is doing their best to reserve as much of their supplies staying within the country. Therefore, they have also increased the price of the supplies by 20%.
Wow.
So now we have a compounded issue of having supplies that we buy from the U.S. now 20% extra, right? So something has to give. It's not that we are basically saying we want to reach to this point, but we are going to get into a situation, which basically we are almost there, where nobody is going to get treatment because the clinic will have to shut down due to lack of finances and lack of supplies. And this is why we have notified the patient that this is where we are at present.
Okay. Now, there's a little feedback in the background, so I'm assuming that you guys are listening either on speaker or...
No, I believe the patients are listening in the treatment area, but...
Oh, there's a slight feedback.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right. Now, there's a question at hand as it relates to communication. And one of the questions is, why was this not communicated, or why was a conversation not had between yourselves and Government of Grenada to find ways to mitigate, of course, this external issue before you would have sent out that letter? Can you comment on that at all?
Okay, so one, we have to take this on, I would say, two sides of the spectrum. And the government as well, respectively in all areas, they look at the situation on both sides of the spectrum. We are talking about public versus private, right? And as much as the government is assisting the patients, to some extent we can say that they are not obligated, right? They are doing a service to the Grenadian population by assisting a private entity in trying to provide service for the Grenadians. On top of that, the issue is not with the government entities. The issue is with the monies that are coming in from the patients themselves.
Okay.
I know a lot of talk has been going on as to why these things were not being discussed, but I can tell you assuredly that we have been having numerous meetings over the last 2 years, numerous conversations between other parties, including the Permanent Secretary, including the Minister of Health, Hospital Services. There are many, many other persons that are involved in a continuous loop of the situation that we are under. So to say that communication is not being sent, even though we have to issue a statement to the patients, this is a private entity. We do not have to go through the government to issue a statement or a notice. Right? But they are all fully aware of the situation. If the situation was not as dire as some people say it is, then why would we continually be asking for the government's assistance and asking them to intervene and asking for outside bodies to try their best to assist financially, assist with supplies? Constantly, we have several persons. We work along with the Kidney Foundation, and even though we are the ones that provide the service, we actually join up with the Kidney Foundation in assisting patients in getting help wherever they can.
Right.
We participate in events. We participate in raising awareness. All those different things like that. So the communication is there. Even though something was not said at present when the letter was sent out, the story has not changed from many years ago to now.
Right.
So there's nothing really new that is being said.
Right, right. Now, when I saw the letter and I saw the traction it was taking in the direction, I thought it my duty to make a phone call to your company to really get to the bottom of the issue and get to the meat of the matter, because this story is being pulled in all directions. And I think at the end of the day, the people being affected the most would be the 19 patients that receive care under your service under your care, and I think if we get to the bottom of it and we look at the matter objectively, then we can find solutions, because I'm all about finding solutions. Now, So we understand that this is not a matter or an issue between Government of Grenada, Kidney Foundation, and your company. This was an internal issue of a letter sent to your patients advising them of circumstances that would have led to your decision. And one circumstance does not supersede the other. It was a mixture of those circumstances.
Correct.
Okay.
So
now,
let me just add to that. Okay. So let's do some math. We have a treatment each patient receives 2 treatments per week, right? Each treatment is $695. Now, we have each patient receiving approximately 8 treatments to 9 treatments a month, depending on how the month falls, right? Every month, and it's been consistent, every month we have received the $1,000 payment from the government, and we have received a $695 payment from the Kidney Foundation. So that's per patient, right? For 16 patients. Okay? So if each patient is getting 2 treatments a week, 8 treatments a month, right? We're looking at a total of $5,560 per month per patient for treatment. Okay? Now, between the government and the Kidney Foundation payments that we receive every month, that is a total of $1,695 per patient, right? Now, we're looking at a balance after that payment is made of $3,865 that each patient would have to find and pay for themselves, right? We have months going by where there are no payments to some patients' accounts. So after we receive the government check and we receive the Kidney Foundation check, sometimes we receive nothing else from some of the patients. Okay? And you can do the math and see this accumulating over years, how much debt that would be.
Right.
Okay? And that's not only from current patients.
Right.
We have deceased patients. We have patients who would have traveled. So there is a lot of debt that is accumulating, and we're not getting any payments for it. So it's not a matter of, I know a lot of people looked at the letter and said that it was a bit harsh and so on, but it's not a letter that we would have just woken up one morning and said we need to write this letter to the patients.
Right.
Patients we speak to patients on a monthly basis. We issue them statements of their accounts on a monthly basis. We always keep them in the loop when it comes to government payments and the Kidney Foundation payments. So writing them a letter telling them that a payment was late or the Kidney Foundation will have to pause on payments until further notice due to COVID-19 is just continuing with informing our patients of what is happening. Right. Okay? So I suggest that if anybody, wants to help the patient, they can directly or they can go to the Kidney Foundation, through the Kidney Foundation, but the patients really do need help. And the clinic really cannot stand
and sustain
itself with the current payment that we are getting, because basically every month we're collecting 20% of our outstanding fees, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just to add to that, just to add sort of a broader idea as to how far in debt we are and have been. Now, we can defer or wait for payment from patients, but the problem that we have as well is that the suppliers, they don't care.
Right.
Right? So we are now in a limbo with suppliers where they themselves are putting themselves in debt for us because they know that we are the only clinic on the island,
Right.
and they do not want to. It's a fine dance between finance and ethics.
Right.
Shall we not give them because we need money, or shall we allow them to die and just let it be about money? So
Right.
everybody is in this fine dance between giving what you have for little to nothing and not getting back, and not sure if you're going to be able to reimburse yourself the following month, or make a sacrifice and hope that the next month things will be better.
Right.
Now, just last year, an audit was done, and we only did an audit for 3 years, for the past 3 years, from 2017 to 2019. And as of August 2019, a combination of living patients, deceased, and traveled patients, the company was in a debt of $695,000. So we're talking about more than $500,000 of debt within the period of 3 years only, right? Now, we knew that we were getting assistance as much as we can, and kudos to Mr. Forrester and all the others that assisted in continue to give patients treatment, because from to this day, we have never once turned away a patient. Not once have we ever turned away a patient. Now, in December of last year, an agreement was made with the patients because we realized it's impractical to even try to get that money back. Let us start fresh. So a proposal was done to the patients that they would pay a particular figure, which was roughly about $5,300. If they were to make a payment of $5,300 by a certain date in December, all of their debt from August 2019 backwards will be forgiven. The majority, if not almost 90% of the patients, took up on the offer. They did as much as they could. They found the money wherever they can, and we're talking about patients being forgiven $70, $80, and above $1,000 in debt. That's what we did in December of 2019.
Wow.
Forward to 2020, unfortunately, the economy is struggling from every angle.
Right.
Something that any of us could say we are responsible for. It's something that everyone has to deal with, both in the medical sector and outside. However, we have already been struggling to stay standing pre-COVID-19. Now we are in the world of COVID-19. Where are we heading? And we have to be able to find a way to preserve the service in Grenada. When you look at other countries, a lot of other clinics and countries, they are a lot more severe. They tell you straight up, no money, no treatment.
Right.
And that has never been our stance in IHS. If the hospital calls today and says we have a patient or we have an emergency case, new person, they don't have money yet, we don't know what's going on, but the patient is not doing well.
Right.
The ministry and the hospital can rest assured that if they call us, we will give the patient treatment, not even knowing where the monies are going to come from.
Right.
So everything is a fine dance between finances and ethics, but at the same time, there's the other part to play, which is preservation of IHS itself.
Right. But I mean, I'm listening to you guys, and I really do feel your pain, because you guys are in between a rock and a very hard place when it comes to this situation. So at this point in time, the support that is really needed, the focus that we need is on patient payments.
That is correct.
And
So it can either be through patient payments, or assistance even with supplies.
Right.
No, I want to put something out there as well, because just so persons don't misunderstand what is being said. Now, first of all, the Ministry of Health has been doing their very best to assist the clinic as far as it is possible on their side. The statement is being made that the increase for the payments for assistance to patient payments have increased from $1,000 to $3,000. But it is just so persons have a better understanding is that the $1,000 was supposed to go to patients' payments, and $1,000, which was the increase, should have gone towards buying supplies for the patient, so that the supplies will come to the clinic, and that will help mitigate the cost of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have only received a payment of $3,000 once in early January for the month of December, after which for January, moving forward till now, we have not received that $3,000 payment, after which the minister said that it was supposed to go towards supplies. Now, the government has been assisting ever so often in giving supplies. However, when they do give supplies, it's to bridge a gap between our lack of being able to receive supplies,
Right.
and the clinic has to close.
Right.
Now, just last year alone, we've had to close the clinic roughly about 4 or 5 times, sometimes
Wow.
2 or 3 days in a row, because we have not been able to get supplies in time.
Right.
Right? So what they have done ever so often is give us supplies in the interim. So, okay, we finally got enough money, we're able to buy the supplies, but it's not going to be here for 2 weeks.
Right.
The government jumps in and say, okay, we want to help the patient, and they give supplies for that 2 weeks.
Right.
So even the agreement that was made and the statement that was made that $2,000 was going to go towards dialysis supplies per patient, that has not been started as yet.
Right.
Right? Are they going to come through on that promise? I believe, especially as now, and they didn't make mention that because of COVID-19, they are going to try their best to stay true to that promise. But up until today, we have not got to that point where that $2,000 is being used to buy supplies for the clinic.
Right.
We have only gotten like care packages, if you want to call that,
Right.
to bridge the gap between our down days of not being able to receive treatment. Supplies, sorry.
Right. So even though the conversation has been had as it relates to that $2,000 that would help with supplies, the agreement has been made, but it has not come into fruition as yet.
That is correct.
However, in the meantime, until that happens, the Ministry of Health has been providing supplies to help bridge that gap.
Well, they have done a few times in the past year. We have times when we have given like 2 months supply once. I think that was the most we ever got. The last time for this year, they assisted us. They assisted us in bringing in supplies from Trinidad because we had no idea of how we were going to get it in. And they used that emergency, the RSS flight, in order to help us bring stuff in from Trinidad because of cargo planes and everything else was down. So they have been trying their best to assist us. So nothing of it, like I said again, has to do with issues with the government because, like we said before, they are not obligated, but we will take every help possible.
Right.
So all the communication that's going on between ourselves and the patient is internal matters that need to be discussed. And I'll bring that even further to the point where, and whoever would be listening on this talk show right now, and I'm going to, you say it's hard talk, I'm going to tell you as it is. The biggest problem that we have right now, I should say the biggest problem that patients in Grenada have right now is their family members and their relatives. People are talking, but they're not acting.
Right.
The Kidney Foundation can attest that they would have motorcades, they would have fundraising programs, they would have all sorts of events to do everything possible to help these patients. And they will ask for assistance, they will ask for volunteers, They will ask for people to go out on the road with them, ask the family members, and you know what? Who shows up? Only strangers.
Wow.
And this is part of the problem, that majority of these patients here, they do not get the support from their family members.
Wow.
They do not get the support from their relatives. How do you expect one person to bear such a burden, right? And then also there are times where there are a few patients, and unfortunately it is what it is, that some of them just piggyback on others.
Right.
So others are paying, supplies are coming in. You don't ask a question, you walk in and you say thank you and you walk out.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is sometimes. Do we say that because of that we are going to deny a patient life? No, we can't. We can't judge somebody because of the situation that they're in. They are basically in survival mode, trying to stay alive, and they'll do whatever it takes. But at the same time, the Grenadian population, it's mostly strangers that are helping.
Right.
Strangers, foreigners, right? We've had doctors coming from the States to do free surgeries for the patients. Total strangers. We have organizations like the same HERO, Adventist International Medical Missionaries. We've had Grenada, New York Association, and so on. Total strangers who have no association with some of these patients except saying that, well, I'm a Grenadian maybe, or I just want to help this small island.
Right.
A lot of the problems that patients have is the same ones that are crying out and saying, it's difficult, the government is not helping. No, it's you that are not helping because you are not helping. Your family member needs help and we don't see them.
Right. Right.
Some patients here, on a holiday, treatment has to go on. And on a holiday, there are patients who don't even know how they are going to be able to get to the clinic. And yet for all, they have large families, they have extended families. Nobody can give them a ride. Nobody can give them $20 to pay a taxi to come to treatment. And these are things that we as a clinic have to be standing in the stead for. I have personally went out of my way to leave the parish of St. George's to pick patients up for treatment and drop them back, just to make sure that they get their treatment. So a lot of the issue here is not government, it's not Kidney Foundation. A lot of it has to do with the relatives and the family members of a lot of these patients. There are many of them that do try their best, but to some extent, there are a lot who are not at all, and all they want to do is basically complain about the situation. You understand it's difficult, but there's only so much as a company can do, right? Even staff themselves make sacrifices and come here without pay for a long time.
Wow.
Right? You're talking about sometimes, unfortunately, I mean, sometimes you just have to put everything out there sometimes. I mean, there's sometimes the staff don't get paid for 20 days or until the next month.
Wow.
Because we don't even have supply. Do we say, until we get paid, we're not coming? So, there's always two sides to the story. But the situation is difficult. And we just want that if anybody or somebody can find a way to assist, then it will be greatly appreciated. The Grenadians need the assistance as much as possible. They need every ounce of help, whether it be finance, whether it be supplies, whether it be moral support, psychological support, social support, anything along that line will do. But we cannot keep complaining if we don't have a solution.
I understand, and I mean that is real talk. that is real talk, and sometimes you do have to tell it as it is. And we often say here that most of us, we complain and we criticize and we don't even understand, nor do we contribute to solutions to these problems. I want to talk a little bit about NGO support. Now, you guys are a private institution. You're a non-governmental institution. Have you guys considered reaching out to NGOs to provide further support in terms of supplying, or in terms of patient sponsorship or anything like that?
Every single day, between the patient advocate, Ms. Barbara Braffett, between the Kidney Foundation, Ms. Bruno and Ms. Marva Gilks, between myself, also one of the other foundation members, who is also our clinic advisor and so on, Miss Yolanda Jessamy, we have been stretching our tentacles worldwide. And when I mean worldwide, I literally mean worldwide. I'm talking about getting contacts from the U.S., from Canada, from Europe, from throughout the other Caribbean islands to assist. And over time, we have been able to, piece by piece, get persons to assist, to send money sometimes to the Kidney Foundation, to send supplies as well over time. But it's nothing that has been sustainable. They
Right.
go as far as they can, and then that's where it is. Because obviously, unlike other illnesses, dialysis is something that is continual until that patient passes away.
Right.
And so it's not like even if you have cancer and maybe you're not end stage and you're able to find a cure maybe for some of it, even though it's that bad, and it may take several years, but unless you have a kidney transplant, you're on dialysis for the rest of your life. So to have like sustained outside assistance is not as easy as we would like it to be.
Right. As it relates to payments, and I want you guys to make it very clear, because there are a lot of people out there who are going to believe that because you are a private entity, you are enriched by payments and by donations and so on. And I want you guys to make it clear, as you've told me, that payments or contributions do not come to you directly, but it goes through the Kidney Foundation. Is that correct?
That is correct. Any contributions that are made, for example, the Ministry of Health would make a contribution to the patients every month. That will go to the Kidney Foundation and then to the clinic. And the Kidney Foundation will pay towards each patient.
Okay.
Yes.
And we also do not accept, even if persons like actually say they want to come pay for patients, we actually tell them no, go straight through the Kidney Foundation. The reason being is that the Kidney Foundation has a pool of resources. So anything that comes in, they put it into a pool, and then they gradually give it out over a sustained period, rather than you may get $500 and you just use that $500 for one person. They will gather all the money together and they will put it out in a sustained manner. And because we do not want to get that image across, for that very same reason, it's why we do not accept where persons may be making donations. We do not accept financial donations directly to us. It must go through the Kidney Foundation, and that has been a policy from day one.
So with the announcement from the Kidney Foundation that they would be unable to make donations or contributions towards the payment of or whatever they contributed to that $695, how does that really affect? Because if persons are sending their contributions through the Kidney Foundation, is it that the Kidney Foundation is no longer receiving contributions, and that is the reason for them not being able to sustain after April the payments, or what? Did they give a reason as to why that is happening?
Well, let's put it this way. One, the Kidney Foundation has a thrift store, and the majority of the finances that they collect for patients, it's through what they sell in that store. That's upstairs Bargain House on Halifax Street. Now, because the restrictions have not been lifted for quite a while as yet, that store, that clothing, because they sell clothes and all sorts of other miscellaneous stuff, that store cannot bring in revenue.
Right.
Secondly, the Kidney Foundation also has donation boxes throughout many different companies, at the desk or at the cashier and so on, where people can actually just drop finances in the boxes. Places have been closed as well, so they cannot receive finances in that way either. Also, because of restrictions, even plans that they would have had in doing like drives to raise finances, they can't because the place has been locked down. So the three main areas in which Kidney Foundation is able to get or say accumulate finances, all three of them have been basically put a damper on. So that's why they are having difficulty at this point to even reach the contribution amount for patients.
Okay.
But obviously, anything that comes in, I know for sure that they will, if let's say after all these conversations are being had, and maybe a fire is lit within the souls of others who want to help, and finances start coming in, then they can still do such, and the Kidney Foundation will use whatever it is that's available, and they will continue to make the contributions once they have something to contribute.
Okay.
So
right now, the onus is on us, on every single individual, to make as whatever contributions they can. Now, from the announcement yesterday, because we started talking about this yesterday, we have an individual who resides in the U.S. He would like to make two contributions of $6.95 towards the payment of a treatment for a patient. However they choose to spread that payment, of course, the Kidney Foundation will determine that. What information can we provide to him so that he's able to make that contribution possible?
Okay, so the Kidney Foundation, if a person wants to send money directly to a patient, they will have to indicate on the notice, or I guess through letter or something of that sort, that they are paying for this specific patient. If they do that, then that patient is going to receive the money directly, right? If they're just saying that they want to send the money just in full and have that be distributed through all the patients, then they can contact the Kidney Foundation through Ms. WeiVybz, which is the president, and you can contact her at 534-1959, 534-1959, and they will be able to get all the instructions on how to deposit money directly to the account. So if they want to give directly to a patient, they will state that patient's name and how much they want to give to the patient. If they want to just give towards the car, then they can just send the money directly to the Kidney Foundation. And even if it's $5, they will divide that $5 between all the patients. So that's how they operate.
Wonderful. So we were breaking up just a little bit there, so I want to just repeat for persons who are listening. In order to make contributions, you would have to contribute through the Kidney Foundation. And the president, you said, was Margaret. I didn't get her last name.
Marva Gill.
Oh, Marva Gill.
Yes.
All right. And her number is 534-1959. Now, I will also call her, and I will try to get some more information on the process and to provide to individuals who don't have an opportunity to call her but would like to contribute. And yesterday, I would have said kudos to Sandman, because he was one of the first people who made a pledge to donating a treatment to the or a treatment cost to the Kidney Foundation. So I want to say kudos to him, because sometimes we take things and we run with it because of many different reasons, but it is important for us to first identify how we are able to help, you know. And this is an appeal, of course, to anybody listening, whether it's here or in the diaspora. Whatever you can give is enough, you know. It's gonna go a long way to the people who need it the most, which is the patients. And you guys have 19 patients, correct?
Correct. It was almost 20, but unfortunately the person didn't make it to start treatment.
Okay, 19 patients, and those patients receive 2 treatments per week at a cost of $6.95 per treatment.
Yeah.
All right? Now, to anybody out there, and can you guys give us a telephone number for your business, so that we can give to the general public in the event that they want to call and make queries as well?
Sure. The number for IHS is 439-9474.
And do you have an email address?
You can email us at admin@ihs.gd, sorry.
IHS.gd. And you guys also have a Facebook page, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we are appealing to our listenership, to those of you here and in the diaspora, to the business community, to private citizens who have the capacity, who has the ability to assist in any way possible for payment of treatment, to do so. And you guys, of course, I think it's important to reach out once again to the Ministry of of Health. Not only that, but have you guys tried reaching out to the Chinese embassy maybe to see how they are able to facilitate, even if it's just supplies, to do that? Because we have to look at every single avenue that we have available, especially in this time when it's even more difficult for you guys to access resources. And when you do access those resources, it's at a heightened cost because it's more needed in those countries. So have you guys considered even doing that, reaching out to, I know the People's Republic of China, their ambassador He has been very, very good to the Grenadian people, and very, very good to even private citizens in donations and so on. So maybe that is an avenue, if you haven't thought of it yet, to venture into.
Right. So, like I said, we have our feelers out there, and we have been talking to a lot of persons who have interest in doing many different things. It's just that nothing has come into fruition as yet, or actually something that is sustainable as yet. Because to take on the responsibility of something so heavy, it's quite a burdensome responsibility that you don't want. Some persons are not able to continue if they start. So sometimes they don't want to start because of how much it's going to cost. So it will have to be persons or companies and so on that have the resources to do such. We have reached out to even the makers of the supplies themselves, the company Fresenius, and like I said, we are working on that. We're working on trying to get, there's even an organization that assists dialysis clinics all over the world, especially in third world countries, called Bridge for Life. And we are speaking with them right now, but the unfortunate situation is just that COVID has held back a lot of that process, but we are even in the process of trying to see what they can do for us. So we have our feelers out there. It's just that even working with Grenada in general, it's quite difficult. Getting resources in, even the cost of living in Grenada is one of the highest within the region. So there's a lot of other little things in there that we have to be able to iron out. And as you were saying, we have to pool our resources together. Not every problem or every situation is going to require money. Not every situation is going to require supplies. Several different things have to come together in order for this chain to work.
Right. And what has been some of the difficulties that you guys are experiencing, apart from COVID, of course, which is one of the main cause of difficulties right now? What are some of the other difficulties, and of course the support of family members, that you guys have been experiencing in being able to reach out to those international businesses to assist you in whatever way they can?
Well, I think the majority of the time it's finding the correct channel in which to get these things passed, because remember, we are still private, but we're trying to provide assist in a service, almost like doing like a public service under the umbrella of private.
Right.
And one of the things that has been an issue for us has been the fear that we are private and we're acting in the stead of public service, and some persons become skeptical that we're basically reaching out because we want to fill our pockets. So that's sort of the scare that some persons may have because we are private. And unfortunately, the other problem is that to some extent the association that has been given to our clinic in a political standpoint. And I think that has been one of the main ones that we are being associated with political affiliations or entities, and a lot of people assume that this is all tied up in politics, it's all tied up in political persons and so on, which is the furthest thing from the truth.
Right.
That has not stopped persons from being skeptical or querying certain things to the point where they would rather just stay away from a situation like that if there is a potential for it to become volatile.
Understood. So you guys are really between a rock and a hard place.
That's right.
I want us to talk about health insurance quickly. How many of your 19 patients have health insurance?
2. Only 2.
Wow. Wow. And of course, we all know that with health insurance, or had the patients have had health insurance, it would have been a lot easier.
Yes.
It would have been much, much easier. We would not have been where we are right now. So, and I guess that would be a public announcement for many of us out there that if we can afford it, try your best to, have some form of health insurance or some type of security.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And again, we're going to appeal to the business community, private individuals, those of you in the diaspora with the means and the know-how of assisting. Do you guys have on your page, by chance, a list of supplies that is necessary for those people who want to make a contribution of supplies rather than, or they're better able to make a contribution of supplies rather than financial support? Do you have a list of the things that you would need?
We can give a list. We can have it posted as well. But they can call us at the clinic as well, and we'll have a discussion, especially sometimes it may be one particular supply we need more than the next.
Right.
So they can call us at 439-9474. But I guess for public knowledge and just others who are just browsing around, we can make a list and post it on our Facebook page so persons can have a better idea, especially family members or persons who may have persons in the medical field within the U.S., if they can, start pooling resources together. Because there are a lot of Grenadians out there in the medical field, in the U.S. especially, that can help in some way or the other. So we can do that as well.
All right, and that would really be helpful for the people in the diaspora who's wondering what you guys need.
Right.
They would be able to pull those resources together. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak on this. I believe that it was absolutely important. We have lost track, I think, of what the actual issue is and what the actual need is. And in this fight for who is to blame, we have lost sight of the fact that it is the patients that really need the help. And however we can provide that help, that is what is most important.
Right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you again for having us as well. And I do hope that whoever is listening, that they can understand the severity of the situation.
And turn this into a positive.
Yeah.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you guys for taking the time. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. All right, so guys, you heard it there from IHS. They need your help. They need your support. The patients need your help, and the patient needs your support. Government is doing what they can. The Kidney Foundation is doing what they can, but more support is needed. And you see, that is one of the downfalls when we are so politically charged. As they mentioned, fingers are being pointed at them because people believe that they are associated with or under politics, or it's in line with some political agenda. And really and truly, that is one of the downfalls of us looking at everything from a political standpoint. And that's one of the reasons why I brought them here today, to speak on their own behalf and not have people with political agenda and political bias speak on their behalfs for them. Let them say what they want. Let them say what they need, and let them say what the problem really is. you know. So we have blown this thing so far out of proportion that it is not even in line with what actually happened or what is actually going on. And that is the fact that patients are sometimes unable to still, even with the subsidiary given by the government of Grenada and the subsidiary given by the Kidney Foundation, some patients are still unable to meet the requirements to pay what they are supposed to, or the percentage that they are supposed to. And that is where the buildup of deficit is coming from. So what they really need is support for the patients so that they are able to meet that requirement, right? So that the company can buy supplies, so that the company can meet the needs. We have a caller on the line, and we will start taking calls. The number to call is 440-7377 for local calls. And if you are in the diaspora and you want to contribute, it's 347-329-3101. Good morning, caller. Oh, no, we seem to have lost the caller. If you're hearing me, caller, please go ahead and call back. And for those of you out there who want to make a contribution, remember the private entity, for transparency reasons. You see, look at the lengths that these people have to go just to get a contribution, because they don't want to be labeled as trying to fatten their own pockets. But in order to make a contribution, you would call Miss Martha. Oh, Lord, I forgot her last name, but I'll get it. From the Kidney Foundation, and her telephone number is 534-1959, so she can provide information on how that contribution can be made. Additionally, to those of you in the diaspora, finances are not the only thing that's in need. Supplies are also needed. You can contact Island Health Services at 439-9474 to make contributions or to find out what exactly they need. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Miss Duncan.
Morning, Miss Cammy.
And I just want to thank you for yesterday for posing my question to the Prime Minister, and good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, all my friends in America, England, and Canada. And I sit here, lie down here, I'm not well, listening to the program. And I love how this man spoke. That man speak, and he speak the truth for the people that is listening. The thing that bothered me is when he said some of the patient family who not even try to help them to come and get the treatment. And it is so sad. But the people with the negative thoughts will think, no, they put all the blame on the government. What he explained to us is not the government, the help. You know, Miss Duncan, I get a number and I call just now. I have $100 there. I want to give them $50 so that a patient could pay to come and get a treatment. But I am not well, as you know, my both legs is sick. I'm going to give them $50 so one patient could pay a transportation to bring them in the clinic to get the treatment. So somebody had to call me here to let me how they could collect that money to pay for one patient.
All right, Miss Cammy.
And I love how that man speak, and the lady, they explain everything. You understand? Yeah. And I will love the patient parents of family members. I will try and help them, because I know what it is about sickness. I am not well myself. Yeah. And it touched me, so I'm going to give them something in what I have. I don't have much.
Yeah. Do you want to?
But $50 could pay a transportation to take them to the clinic. Have a good day.
Miss Cammy, before you go.
Yes, ma'am.
When the program is finished at 12, can you call and give me your number so I can pass it on to them? Yeah.
I have one. I will give them $50.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I am sick too.
Yeah.
You hear, I sick. I'm not well. I'll just fight up. And it touched my heart. And I would love family could be a little more loving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome, Miss Cammy. Thank you so much. You know, that just touched me. And these things make me so emotional. I have to hold back tears because this is a lady that is sick also. And as she said, she doesn't have much, but she's willing to give half of what she has to make sure that somebody else can benefit. And this is what it is all about. I mean, I'm holding back all my tears right now because this has touched me to the core, you know? And of course, as much as anybody is able to give, look, she said $50 so that that person can get transportation or whatever it is that they need. It will go a long way. It's $50 more than they had yesterday, you know? So that really touched me to the core. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sister Duncan.
Good morning, Miss Jacob. How are you?
God, so help me God. I have a brother, a baby brother by another mother. When I hear coming and when I hear the mister say the family, oh God, Sister Duncan, girl, I cry. I'm telling you what they say, I cry. My pillow, I lie down on the pillow wet with tears. That young man, he two kidney gone. When I tell you he two kidney gone, he gone. Because the doctor said he two kidney gone. And, oh God, Desmond, his name is Desmond, they just call him Jack. He living in Upward Tooth. I give them people the number. And I think it was yourself. I did give the number. The lady up to now, the lady don't come out and see what happening. The number is 444 7255. That was the number. Every day I calling him. Sometimes I call him. Sometimes he groaning. It hurt me.
And what does he need, Miss Jacob?
Huh?
What does he need?
Well, he needs somebody to come and see what's happening to him. Nobody don't come in, no doctor, no nothing don't come in and look after him.
So he has not been to the doctor since?
Well, they don't bring him to no doctor. I don't think they bring him to the doctor for this year yet. Oh, God. I will talk to you behind the scene. I don't want that go on the air.
Okay.
What the lady say, that is quite true. I don't want to put my name and they know why. So if I could talk to you off the scene,
you can.
I could talk to you off the scene.
Okay. You can, and we'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Love you, darling.
You
Bye-bye.
too. All right, bye-bye.
Nice.
Yeah, to all of our listeners and viewers, remember we're taking calls. If you want to contribute to the conversation, if you want to make a contribution, you don't have to say your name, but you just let the people know that you are making a contribution. I myself will be making a contribution towards the cause because the little that we have and the little that we give, it's all going to add up at the end of the day. So we're appealing to the business community, private individuals. It may be just a little, but it'll go a long, long way to help these patients. Because at the end of the day, we can quarrel about who, and I've heard it, I've read it, I've seen it. The past few days have been, I'm disappointed, I'm disgusted. I don't even know how to express it at the way some of us behave. Some of us are taking pride. Some of us are rejoicing over this information because we feel that it paints government in a bad light. Some of us are rejoicing over this information because we are using it to play politics, when at the end of the day, the only people that are being hurt are the patients. They are the ones that need the help. They are the ones that need the support. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Duncan.
Good morning.
Did I need to say my name when you were speaking, eh?
Yes, I do.
Okay. We like to contribute $100, $50 this month, and next month $50.
Okay.
Okay, how would I get it?
Now, what you can do, depending, I'll give you Miss Marva Gill's number.
Miss Duncan?
Yes?
Could I drop the money for Florine to give you, and then you'll see how you get it to her?
You know what? Yes, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
You can do that, and I will go ahead and make the contribution on your behalf.
Yeah, so they will, let's say by tomorrow, please, girl. I will give Florine $50 for this month, and then next month I will give her the next $50 for next month, okay?
Thank you so much.
If you are sitting, you always look for something.
Wonderful. You're doing a great thing. Thank you.
God bless you. That's our purpose on earth. We have to help one another.
We have to help one another. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right, guys, you heard it there. Another contribution. This is what I live for. This is what I do. You know, this is what makes me feel good inside. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan. And how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. We're keeping safe here.
That's
good.
good.
I know you're doing the same.
Yes.
I just wanted to strengthen what Miss Jacob said. I do support everything what she said. We do know the young man. I don't know him personally, but I normally call him on the phone, and I normally pray with him to support him, to give him courage. And he does have a kidney problem. The 2 kidney has packing up, and sometimes when I spoke to him, he said to me, I haven't got any medication. And he does need medication. He has been to the hospital, and I know a lot of doctors, they associate with him. They know him. They know him very well. But sometimes when the help do come, the help do reach to him. So please, Ms. Jacob will give you all the details. So listen to what she's saying and find help for this young man. He's been lying down over a year now. From the time I started communicating with him, he's been lying on bed for over a year. And he's bedridden now. So please, he does need help. So do your best and hear what Ms. Jacob's saying. I mean, she lives closer to him. I'm in Carriacou. So hear what she's saying and do send some help for him, please. We are in, it's a beautiful country of ours, and we do help and support our own. So please help him. He does need medication, because when I spoke to him last week, he told me that, no, you haven't got no medication. So he's in a lot of pain.
But who normally, let me just ask you, who normally gives, because you see, and this is why this information needs to go through the right channels. Now, the constituency is he in St. David?
I think so, yes.
Okay, because most constituency offices have a program in place that if you are unable to purchase medications on your own, that they will lend some support in that area. Each parliamentary representative, their office has a responsibility towards that. Has he reached out? I'm not going to know until I speak to Ms. Jacob.
I do ask him, I don't know really much, but when I ask him the question about medication, he tells me he haven't got. Sometimes he say he have paracetamol. So Ms. Jacob have his phone number. So when she give you his phone number, I think the relevant person should call him and question him concerning that matter.
Okay.
So I won't be able to say much now because I'm far away from him across the state. I won't be able to say much, but I'm in contact with him.
Okay.
Yes? So please, we just need help for him because one day I want to call him and I want to hear him say, oh, I'm feeling much better. That will really put joy. I'll feel so joyful in my heart.
Okay.
So please do what you can, eh?
I will.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. Okay,
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yep. Keep the calls coming, guys. Keep us informed, whether it's for donations, whether it's a word of encouragement that you can give. We are open to hearing it. The number to call is 440-7377 for local calls. If you are in the diaspora and you want to call and make a contribution, or you want to call and lend some support, you can call 347-329-3101. Most of you have the cell phone number of the office, you have of the studio. You can call that as well, even after the program is done, to let us know what contributions you're going to make. I'm also going to put a number on the page that you can call to let me know if you are willing, as a Grenadian citizen, whatever. Like the man said, $50, $5, whatever it is will go a long way in helping a patient. We all have to come together at this time. You know, sometimes we spend so much time uniting for the wrong reasons. We unite to fight, we unite to play politics, we unite to cause confusion. But when it is time to unite for a good cause, we find the numbers very scarce. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I want to know what the government have in place for construction workers, because we went down to NIS and NIS saying the waiting on government and like government docking. I don't know if it's the Ministry of Finance, because since last month we secretary in we company trying to get in contact with the NIS, and only wrong they had to meet with government. And the government not doing nothing for construction workers. At the same time when we was home, when remember when all the workers was home doing CCC time, how the workers, all the ministers NNP, they're saying, well, whoa, they treat the workers so bad and look, they're home now. And that's the same set of workers, they're doing the same thing today.
Well, caller, I understand your concern. Miss Lisa Douglas, who is the public relations officer or communications officer at the NIS, she was sitting with Aruna this morning, and that's why when I began the program, I commended Aruna. She was sitting with Aruna this morning, giving an explanation as to what is happening with the contributions or the unemployment benefit that is going to benefit construction workers as well. And what is being said, or of course what she contributed to that, is that the process itself. Now we have to look at things, and sometimes I know it's a rough pill to swallow, but a little bit more patience is being asked for, simply because they are looking at an electronic process where they would provide payments through the banks for the unemployment benefit. They are working out and fine-tuning. Now, once you pay NIS, you will qualify for the unemployment. You've been consistent with your payments and so on. You will qualify, and the monies would be sent to your bank account. If you do not have, or will be done electronically, if you do not, though, have a bank account, or well, that's what she said. If you don't have a bank account, then they have made arrangements with Cooperative Bank to ensure that these payments can be made, right? So it's a tricky process. I know we look at some things black and white, and I know that you guys are struggling. So what I'm saying is not going to be swallowed easily. To the caller or to any of the construction workers or any of the employees that are waiting on the NIS. I know that it's not going to be a easy pill to swallow, and probably me saying it is going to upset a few people, but I mean, I have to speak the truth, right? I can't say, well, it's coming, and reassure you that tomorrow, when that's not the case, right? It is in the process. Of course, it has to be a collaboration between government and between NIS. So you have to take that into consideration. You have to also take into consideration that when they say government, they're not speaking about 15 representatives, but they are speaking about the public servants who have to leave their homes as well to attend to your needs, right? So we have to be just a little bit patient. I know it's a hard pill to swallow. And I know it's not going to be a happy statement for most people, but it is in the process. It is not an empty promise. It is nothing of the sort. So I know that you feel despondent at this time, and I know that it is a difficult situation for you and for most of you, and I cannot relate. I'm not even going to pretend that I can relate. But what I can say, based on the information that I have, is that the process is ongoing, that they are fine-tuning the information so that you guys can receive support as soon as is possible. So all I can say to you, my friend, is hang in there. Just hang in there. And that's the only word of support that I can give at this time. All right? But as it relates to a dialysis patients, guys, they need our help. They need our support. They need our contribution. They need the help and support of their family members. As the gentleman said, that is the biggest problem that they have. The support of family members. Can you imagine that? Strangers are being more helpful than family. And you know who spoke to me about that once before? Miss Cammie was the first person that called this program when I was here to speak about the kindness of others, or the kindness of strangers to people. And strangers being more kind to you than your own family members and sometimes your own friends. And this just goes to show. You know, so for those of you who have already made contributions, to those of you who are in the process of contacting the Kidney Foundation, who is in the process of contacting Island Health Services to provide support in some way or the other, thank you. That's all I can say at this point. Thank you. To those of you who are listening and you want to make a contribution, you can contact the president of the Kidney Foundation, Miss Marva Gills. And her number is 534-1959 to find out what the procedure is to make those contributions. In addition to that, you can contact Island Health Services at 439-9474 or send them an email at admin@ihs.gd. Find out what they need, what support you can provide, and let them direct you through the proper channels to make that a reality. We can do this, you know. We are about, 110,000 people in Grenada? If everybody contribute $1, that's $110,000 towards the treatment of our Kidney Foundation patients. All right? Let's do what we can. If it's $1, you could contribute $5, whatever it may be. Let's do what we can. And maybe what can happen, the Kidney Foundation can redirect some of their boxes for donations to places that are now open for business, such as supermarkets, gas stations, banks, financial institutions are open, hardware stores are open. Maybe we can set some boxes up there, the Kidney Foundation, and try to get some support from the people who are actually moving about. You know, because we can't have motorcades at this time, and most business places are currently still on lockdown. So we have to use what we have available and make it work. Right? Be creative. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
And how are you?
I'm good.
I want to, well, after you finish speaking to you, I would like you to call back out the number for me, and then I would like to contribute at $30.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It will go a long way. So as soon as we're done, I'll call the number out for you again, and you can contact Miss Marva Gill, and she will advise what you can do.
I prefer to call Mr. Allen because that's a landline.
Okay. Well,
yes, thanks.
I'll give both numbers.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, guys, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's turn a situation that is unfortunate into some glimmer of positivity. The number that you would want to call for Mr. Allen is 439-9474. All right, that's Island Health Services, and let them give you advice on how that contribution, how that donation can be made, or you can contact Miss Marva Gill at 534-1959 to make a contribution to the Kidney Foundation. Island Health Services, they have indicated that they will be posting to their Facebook page a list of supplies that they usually need, or they would need right now, to keep their business up and running. You know, we cannot afford at this time for them to close, or for them to have to close their doors. And we have to respect the fact that even though they are a private institution, they have employees who have needs as well, who have families to feed as well. So they have to be paid, you know, and they are in this time contributing their time. They're essential as well, you know. They are contributing their time to ensure that the needs of our dialysis patients are met. And that is so important. You know, these things touch my heart. And I said to somebody the other day that they look at this program and they look at it as an NNP program, that they only speak politics here. And no, that's not our goal. Our goal is to reach people. Our goal is to provide information. Our goal is to touch and change the lives of Grenadians in any way that we can. That's our goal. We are a political organization, but we understand that people come first. And that is what is most important. And when you can see past politics and see people, then we will see Grenada shift and change. And this goes for every single person in politics. I look at some pages of politicians that oppose the NNP, that agree with the NNP, but politicians in general. And I look at some of the activists and some of their pages, and all I see is negativity. All I see is complaints. All I see is nitpicking at the smallest thing to try and gas up their base, to instill hatred, to instill aggression and animosity, when that is not what we need at this time. What we need is words of support, words of encouragement, common sense enough to put politics aside and see people that are hurting, people that are in need. That's what we need now. We don't need to be making confusion and comments over which platform the Prime Minister chooses to speak on. That is irrelevant. Whether he speaks here, or he speaks on GBN, or he speaks on NDC Heartbeat, or whatever he speaks on, the information is what is important. The information that reaches the people, that is what is important. And that is what we must see. People. The betterment of people. Let that be the wheel, or let that be the vehicle that drives your politics. People. Caring for people. Understanding people. Supporting people. And not just trying to win cheap political points by turning everything into confusion, everything into melee, everything into to some form of political game. That's not what this is about. It's about people. It's about Grenada and Grenadians. Because at the end of the day, regardless of which political party is in power, the people don't change. The administration will change. They will come, they will go. But the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, they remain. That is what is important. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Miss Duncan, you speak in a book there. Because Miss Duncan, when I heard any news with this same kidney thing with the letter and what's not, and then I hear people so negative, is when this man, I don't know his name, what is his name? That was on the program they talking this morning.
I can't remember, you know.
Okay,
Forgive
the
me,
man
I say
that
so
was
much.
speaking, give the information, then I start to see a different thing when the lady and the man spoke, and he explained that the government helps, they go ahead and get things coming, but the family members, some of the patients that is owing, and they cannot meet the needs, and they can't even come for the damn thing. I say, look at that. Information is very important.
Yep.
Very important, lady. Yep. And you're doing a very good job. That is why I tell some of them, don't estimate my intelligence, because I listen. I listen to the young man explain everything. The lady explain. And the problem is a lot of family members. And some of the patient is owing. My heart goes to them. If I had money, I'd have paid for one for a month. But I don't have, because I am in a position where I'm sick. So you're doing a good job, Miss Duncan. Continue. Let's forget about the negative people.
Yep.
Yeah. And they cannot do nothing to Keith. Dr. Keith is a blessed man. You understand? So we have to forget about the negative people that have negative things to say. Negative things are poisonous, to the mind.
Yeah.
When you're negative, your mind is poison,
Of course.
Right. I don't want to. You have a man that calls me name every day on radio about Peter this and Peter that. Peter is my friend.
Yeah.
He's going to school.
Yeah.
You understand? So we can't think about them. Let's think about more positive things to strengthen the minds of the people.
Of course.
A lot of people is hurting. I am here sick.
Yeah.
Take what I am telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah? And do what you have to do, ma'am.
Of course.
Use a doll.
Of course.
Give us the information. Let we see for ourselves. Have a blessed day, Mr. Watson, everybody in America, Patricia, and Mr. Watson, Depot, and Zingo, and all the Grenadians out there. I'll just try and stay safe.
Yeah.
Because I know all the Grenadians out there, they're homeless too. You understand? I look at the news, and my heart goes out, because I have friends that care about me. Yes, before I go, Miss Duncan, yesterday, I was in pain, real pain. I know what pain is all about. And the phone rings. And Miss Thomas, Sandra Thomas Tim, and Thomas' wife, daughter, called me here, that little girl. Renee Thomas called to know if I'm all right. And she could come to go and get me medication. Mommy, you understand?
Yeah.
These are the things that we need.
Yes.
This child called to find us from Hermitage to come to get my medication for me. That's what we need in Grenada.
Yeah.
Not this hatred and fighting and all these things.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too, Miss Cammy. Yeah. That's what we need. You know, I've been called, since the advent of this program, I've been called a lot of things. And I call a name today because I want to put some people on blast. There are people like Peter Bishop, calling your name, and Mr. Randall Robinson, who very openly on social media tell me I'm wasting my time and I'm batting for the wrong team and I'm brainwashed, you know? All these things, abuses after abuses. Some people tell me, what they tell me yesterday? I'm drinking green Kool-Aid. That's why I can't see straight. All kind of thing. Abuses after abuses. And I wonder, what have I ever done to any one of them other than sit on an NNP platform and provide positive information to the people of Grenada? And if by doing that, it offends them, then you know that speaks a book that is bigger than any politics. It means that regardless of the message, they would never care because they look at the messenger and they look at the platform in which the messenger speaks on. So regardless of if the message is positive or if the message helps, they would never care. Because to them, the enemy is the administration. So whatever the administration does, it is bad or it is terrible. And I have been called a lot of things. But I will tell them this, as I've told them yesterday, because there was big confusion because Prime Minister chose to have an interview with us, which we asked, which he is welcome to do on any other program if you extend the invitation. But that will never happen because what they are pushing will never coincide with the message that he will be giving. So it will never happen. So don't let them tell you that he will never come to their program. That's not the case. The case is that their programs are anti-government consistently. It never tells you of anything that is good for Grenadians. It never tells you of anything that will help Grenadians. It never tells you of anything that would help you build yourself as a Grenadian outside of politics. It is strictly an anti-Keith and an anti-NNP program, wasting Grenadians' airtime to spew negativity and aggression. And I'm not afraid to say it, because I've taken their abuses. But I will tell them this, that as long as I have breath and I have life in me, I will sit in this chair every single day and I will speak to the Grenadian people and I would provide the Grenadian people with information who chooses to listen or not. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. None of your abuses move me, not even in the slightest way, because I get up every morning with the same vigor and the same energy that I went to sleep with to do what I'm doing right now, which is to help Grenadians, to provide information, to see our people in a better place than they were yesterday. And that is all that matters to me right now. So say what you want to. At the end of the day, the information that I provide the support that I provide to the Grenadian people. I'm not looking for accolades. I'm not looking for thanks. I'm not looking for any of that. But you see what happened here today? You see when ordinary Grenadians who don't have much to give still feel the need to give? That's what makes me happy. That is what satisfies me. That is what makes me want to do this every single day. So anybody on social media can say what they want about me, about my character, about the platform that I sit on, about the political views that I have, or the party that I support. But I will tell you this, the reason I support this party, the reason I support the New National Party, the reason I would come and sit on this platform, the reason I will help every day is because all that the New National Party has shown me is positivity. All that the New National Party has shown me is that they care for people and they are trying to help. And they don't go on social media every day spewing negativity and aggression and trying to anger Grenadian people and playing at their emotions to get them to feel a certain way about an administration. And that is why I will continue to support them. When you want somebody to support you, you don't jump up and beat up on them, no. You know what you do? You know what you do? You woo them, you court them, you finesse them. You show them that you are invaluable. That is what you do. And that is what makes the difference. You know, they tell me yesterday, what? A green is time to ripe, but guess what? When you're ripe, you're closer to spoiling, eh? Anyway, to those of you who want to make a contribution to the Kidney Foundation, once again, please remember to call Miss Marva Gill at 534-1959. And of course, you can call Island Health Services at 439-9474. All right? No, they can't keep a good man down. I will tell you this, as long as there's blood running through my veins, as long as I am healthy and I can make it to sit in this chair, it is my duty to my listenership and to my viewership to provide them with information. That is why I will continue to do this, regardless of what anybody has to say or how they feel about me. That doesn't affect me, not even in the slightest bit. So, let's just continue. And I will continue as a member of the New National Party, as an individual, as a Grenadian citizen, to do all I can to share as much positivity as I can. Because they are doing a really good job at sharing negativity. I don't want to join that lane. I don't want to get too old too fast. I want to stay young and vibrant, have a long life ahead of me. So I'm going to choose the positive road. And I'm going to choose to provide the people of Grenada with positive information, to let them know that they can be the voice of change, that they can help contribute to change, that they can help contribute to development, that they don't have to fight against the administration, even just because they don't agree with them. But if we all join together, if we all lift our voices, if we all come together as one, we will see the differences. We will see the changes that we want to see for Grenada. We may not all see what we want to see at the time we want to see it, but it's there. It's coming. We just have to hold fast. We just have to be strong. We just have to collaborate with each other. Love each other. Be generous. Not because you want something in return. Not because you want some sort of recognition because of it. But just because, if placed in the same shoes, you would want the same thing done for you. And that's simply just it. So let us do what you can. Do what you can. All right? The number to call again for Ms. Marva Gill, the president of the Kidney Foundation. Remember, all financial donations are made to the Kidney Foundation and then distributed to IHS to cover their costs. And then remember, of course, their costs don't just include medication and resources. Their costs include the rent of their space, electricity costs. They have to pay their staff members. All right? So remember that. And don't just think because it's a private institution that they have money, that's why they open that business, or they want to make money off we head, that is why they open that business. No. All donations go to the Kidney Foundation, and then the Kidney Foundation disperses. Even the donation they receive from Government of Grenada goes through the Kidney Foundation, so that there is transparency and that nobody's mixed up in any money business. All right? So you call Miss Marva Gill at 534-1959, and she will provide information on how you can make that donation. But you can also call Island Health Services at 439-9474 or send them an email at admin@ihs.gd to get further information. We're going to take our last call for the morning. Good morning, caller. Hello? Oh, seems like we lost that call. All right. admin@ihs.gd. Send them an email. They also have a Facebook page, and they will be posting on their Facebook page information about the their needs. Good morning, caller. Hello? All right. Well, it seems like we keep losing that caller, but also we are out of time. It's been a wonderful morning. It's been an emotional morning. It's been a morning that's been full of information, and I hope that it's a morning that has impacted your life in some way or the other, because guess what? Whatever contribution you give today will make a very big difference tomorrow. Guys, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. In whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe, be secure. Like I say every day, I always want to be talking with you, but I don't ever want to be talking about you. Please enjoy the remainder of your day and stay safe.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.